So I want to start off with you guys shushing. Thank you. Perfect. All right. I have plenty of time. Shush. Okay. So I have some new hall passes that I'm going to show off here because there are students who keep disappearing, keep walking out without forgetting to sign out. So I have had to take measures with the admin team. And I'm going to show you the new hall passes right here and right now. So if I stop my screen share, whoops, I'm way up in the corner. You guys get the future ready angle. Okay, you can look at me up here in person in the meet space. Here's your new hall passes. It is the entire clipboard. You are required to take the entire clipboard with you. You will notice there are no longer sign out sheets on the wall because you must get a pass from me if you plan to leave this room for any particular reason. That is not you've been summoned by another teacher, you've been summoned by another individual. So anytime you're leaving the room, just go to the bathroom to look for your AirPods. If you maybe forgot your phone, you got to take one of these guys. And if there's not one available, then you do have to wait for one to come back. Okay, I'll check it out to you like we would check out a pen. Mr. Subda, if you could focus, please. Thank you. Sign out like normal, as if you would on the wall, except you sign out on the pass now. If there is any type of emergency and you need to leave, the rule that was initially there that you can just go still stands. However, I am trusting that you won't take advantage of my, the fact that you can leave based or just with emergencies if you need to. It's got to be actual emergencies, especially if you are waiting for a pass and it's just not going to happen. Okay, so don't take advantage of my trust on that. So there's your new bathroom passes. That's all I have to say on that. I'm going to stop my video here. Let's talk a little bit about 8.3. So if you look at your thread, excuse me, I have the hiccups. Sorry. All right, so we're going to move into some more advanced compositing skills. There's a couple different projects that will allow you to practice it, but project 8.3 is a breakdown of a couple different skills that I'm going to have you follow videos for first, and then I'm going to show you more advanced uses or more uses of them Thursday and Friday. So what today is about, there's a couple things that are a little bit different than what we're used to because we have one more SBA test on Monday. With the short period, we lose most of an entire workday because people just aren't hearing stuff. So this one is actually, instead of being due this Friday, is due Tuesday, May 21st, which is next Tuesday. Thank you. Which is next Tuesday after our final SBA test on the 20th. So project 8.3, it says advanced, but it only is advanced in the sense that it's beyond just masking and selecting, which are the foundation for what turns into a composition. You're always going to have to mask something or select it when you're combining different images together. And there's some more advanced tactics that you can use, some more advanced skills that you can do to make your compositions more believable. Very similar. I'll get into that actually here in just a second. There are three main laws that you must require with compositing, or you go to composite jail, and nobody wants to be in composite jail. Law number one is you must use photos with a good resolution. That means high res, typically going to be from Unsplash. You can use your own photography if it's got enough pixels. But because we're going for believable blending, we're going for a believable sort of creation in the artistic space here. You must use pictures with good resolution so that you have enough pixels to select. The higher resolution your image has, the more pixels it has, the more data, the bigger bitmap, the more freedom and the more specificity you can add to your compositions, the higher the resolution your photography is. The next law, second law of compositing, is that you must choose images that have a similar perspective, lighting, and tone. We're going to break down those three words here in just a second, even though they make a lot of sense at face value. Similar perspective. Let's think about the duck horse real quick. If our duck's head was facing the opposite direction, we could still blend them together, but it might look a little bit more graphic. or a little bit more surreal, a little bit more obscene than it would have been if the two heads were facing the same direction. When you're compositing, you want to make your life easy. Compositing is a lot of work. It's a lot of steps to make it believable. You want to not cut corners in the way that you typically hear that term, but you want to be efficient and you want to make good decisions on the perspective of your images so that when you blend them together, you have a much easier time than trying to force it to make it work at other points in the future. So perspective just means they are kind of generally facing the same direction. If you are blending two humans together, you want to have them moving either both to the right or both to the left, to put it in like simple terms. But perspective just means you want to pick images that are pretty close to one another to make your compositing life a little bit easier. Next up, we have lighting, which is pretty self-explanatory. If you think back to 8.2 with the duck, when we added that shadow, we wanted to follow the existing shadows so that we didn't have conflicting light sources, which is going to instantly kind of tarnish some of our credibility, some of our believability. You want your lighting to happen the same direction, or alternatively, pick an image that is evenly lit so you can decide how the lighting happens. But you want the lighting to go the same way so that it has easier time. You have an easier time making those two things believable. And then this last one is tone. Tone has a lot of connotations as well as denotations, just the word itself. Tone for our purposes means about the same color or close to the same color. Because getting colors to match exactly can be kind of challenging and it can be more work than it's worth sometimes. Tone in the sense of graphic design and in compositing, we put a white duck's head on a white horse so that we didn't have to blend like if we took a male mallard with the emerald head, that would be a lot harder to blend with a white horse because those colors are so contrasting with one another. So you want to pick images that are about the same sort of tone to mix with one another when you're creating your own composites. And then finally, practice good selecting and masking. If you're just selecting something and then deleting it, those pixels are gone forever. You have sent them to compositing jail, which is where you will end up if you break any of the compositing laws. We don't want that. So good selecting, good masking. Remember, changes that you make that aren't on a mask or on some type of adjustment are permanent. And you can't go back if you ever undo something. If you've got one picture left of your great-grandparents that you're trying to restore in Photoshop and you accidentally cut out grandma's face and then save it, grandma's face is unfortunately gone forever, which we don't want. It's not ideal. So good selecting, good masking, keeping in mind that you want to make filters instead of permanent edits. So there's a link here if you'd like to check out some different types of compositing examples. Like if we go real quick right here, this is an image made up of a bunch of different ones to create some kind of scene that is artistic in nature, that is just cool to look at, and you can find a way to tell some type of story with it. Okay, so what are you actually doing for this assignment? There are 4 short tutorials with a provided set of assets, just like 8.2, that I want you guys to complete by Friday. First period was able to complete it by the end of the period because Mr. Hendrix's videos are available here, as well as the, what was I gonna say? I lost my train of thought. Some of the PSDs, like the shadow one is already set up. But what I want you guys to do is complete, we already did duck horse, so you don't have to do blending unless you want to follow Mr. Hendrix's tutorial and see exactly how he did it. You have to do the basketball shadows. You got to do the paint face blend modes, and then you have to do the martial artist layer styles, which are separated into each of these 4 different videos right here. You will find all of your assets in this advanced compositing zip, just like we did on 8.2. Remember, you got to download that, save that file. You want to put it in its own folder in your OneDrive. So I'm going to create a new folder for Proj 8.3, 8.3, Ocho Punto Trace. We go in there and then just click save, okay? Keeping in mind that you cannot access files that are inside of a zipped backpack until you unzip them. Even though you know they're in there, you got to unzip it before you do anything crazy with them. So mine's going to take a second to unzip, or download, I mean. We'll just pause for effect there. If you want to download, oh, while that's downloading, I want to talk about the work cycle. So this turned out, because Mr. Hendrix did this in a more typical week, it kind of came weird timing with 5+1 workday. What this means is your last in-class workday is Tuesday the 25th, or 1st, the day that it's due, and you should spend today, which would be for you 5/15, because this was, I put first period dates on there, I apologize. This is day 0 and day 1 because you're following the horse. We already did the duck horse, but you can do the shadows today. And then it has day 16, 17, 20, and 21. So you can check and see how far you've come along with the tutorials that I've got going on here. Let me see how much time. It's like 30 megabytes. It's really thinking about it. So you have until the 21st to work on this. That's day 5. You can find your own images and practice the skills you learn, or you can just follow the tutorials. I prefer if you mix your own together. Now that you've got some compositing skills, got some compositing access. Come on. You know what? We're going to just do first period's example. So once you have downloaded your 8.3 assets, the advanced compositing assets, it's going to look like, let me go through all my, where's my folder here? 8.3. It's going to look like it's got a zipper. If you click on that zipped folder, you're going to have an extract pink button right here, or alternatively, you can right click and then go down to extract all. It's going to pop open another window that looks like this. If you click browse, it will send it back to wherever you want the file to be. So in my case, I want to go to semester 2, 6th period graphic design, project 8.3. Click select folder there, click extract, and then it's going to have an advanced compositing regular folder that has all of the assets that you need to complete these projects, plus some extras for a project that we did not include for 8.3. So to recap, what I am asking of you guys today is to follow these tutorials. You can follow all of them, but I just had finishing the shadows in mind today. And then move on to the, move through these in this order. So go basketball player, and then paint, face, and then martial artist. It's going to teach you some distinct compositing skills that I'm also going to recap on Thursday, Friday with some more examples. Make sense? Sound good? Okay, you guys have over an hour to complete these. Use your class time wisely. You're gonna make me do this real quick. Okay. No, you have until the 21st. Use your class time wisely. Step number 1, I'm talking to the Zoom room now. Don't be distracting. If I have to remind you a couple times, we'll have a conversation, okay? And get your work done on time. Those are my 3 rules for today, okay? So, the rest of this time is yours. I'll be wandering if you have any questions. Let me switch back to my thing real quick. I forgot I had a camera and I'm having way too much fun with it lately. Anyway, rest of the time is yours. I'll be wandering around. Good luck. Make sure you know where you're going for flex as well. At some point today, before you can start, this is just the last little announcement. At some point today, restart your PC. Make sure Adobe's updated so that it's running on all cylinders there. All right, cool. Thank you guys. Good luck.